Hello again, and welcome back to another QUTV News Update. I'm Sarah Valkamp.
And I'm Colleen McCormick. Coming up on this week's news, we debunk one of QU's well-known urban myths, and we hear all about Intramural's big plans for the semester.
Topping our news this week is the trend of body art. According to Fox News, a study conducted this year, 34% of people under the age of 30 have at least one tattoo. This is also the age group that is most likely to be looking for a job and going through the interview process. Does having a visible tattoo during an interview affect your chances at getting the job? I sat down with a few of our local experts to get some advice.
Getting a tattoo may seem like a thrilling idea for some people. In fact, since 2007, the percentage of people with tattoos has nearly doubled in the past 7 years. But have you thought about how getting a permanent marking on your body could possibly influence your ability to land a job? Dean of Academic Support Services, Dr. Sumitra Ghosh, talks about how having a visible tattoo may have an effect on your job interview.
Are you, at the interview, by making your tattoos visible, are you foregrounding that? Are you making that the first thing that people notice about you? That's probably not the best idea. The first thing that you want people to notice about you is how prepared you are, how well suited you are for that position. Tattoos often tend to take away from that attention, and tattoos become the center of attention.
A visible tattoo is not the only possible distraction during an interview, and professionalism is key when trying to impress the interviewer. Director of Career Services, Kristen Leeson, gives her input on tattoos and professionalism during an interview.
I would say going through an interview process, play it safe, dress conservative, wear the suit, be professional in every single thing that you do. And if I were to coach you, I would say nose piercings, ear piercings, tattoos, keep them covered, keep them out, and play that conservative role.
While the type of job may determine whether a visible tattoo is acceptable, professionalism is always an important aspect to keep in mind. For QUTV, I'm Sarah Valkamp.
Our legal system bases criminal guilt on evidence based beyond a reasonable doubt, judged by a jury of your peers. QU's Community Standards Board uses the same system, and you have a chance to be a part of that process. Board meetings consist of determining whether someone has violated campus policy or not. If this interests you, there are positions available, and organizers say there are plenty of reasons to get involved.
I just think that this is a really great opportunity for students that are possibly looking at the criminal justice field, or if they're looking to possibly take on a leadership role on campus.
For more information, or if you want to pick up an application, contact Larissa Jerkow or stop by her office. She is located below the cafeteria in Student Affairs. The Student Success Center, North Campus renovations, and improved menu at the Hawks Hangout are not the only new things on campus this semester. QUTV introduces you to some of our new faculty members.
Freshmen are not the only new faces to campus. This year, QU welcomed many new faculty members to various departments. First of all, we've hired a new dean of the School of Education, Dr. Bruce Spitzer. Dr. Spitzer spent the last 10 years on the faculty of the University of Indiana South Bend as an assistant and associate professor of instructional technology in the School of Education, and spent some time as a chair of the Department of Secondary Education and Foundations of Education. Dr. Spitzer has enjoyed his time at this smaller school thus far.
Quincy has a really fun place in my heart because of the size of campus, where everybody really does know your name.
Also new in the same department is Assistant Professor of Education, Dr. Glenda McCarty. Dr. McCarty has taught biology in public schools and worked in the Missouri Botanical Gardens in teacher training. Most recently, she taught at Culver Stockton College for 3 years. Dr. McCarty notes how the faculty have helped her to adjust to her new environment.
I have a couple colleagues right across the hallway, and they've really helped out with anything that I've needed. So, I mean, it's been a smooth transition.
Going down the hall to the communications department, another new professor is Nora Baldner-Schnack, assistant professor of communication. She has had about 25 years of experience in the broadcasting field, doing almost every job in the industry. She is from the West Coast originally, but has been in Quincy for many years, working at a few local news stations. Now that she's at QU full-time, Professor Baldner explains what she likes about our broadcasting program.
This is a great way to take another dimension in working in the broadcast field. I feel like I was in the trenches for a very long time, and now I get to help the next generation get there as well, and I find that very exciting.
Remember that if you have a new teacher, be sure to welcome them to campus and get to know them better. Professors are the core of our education journey, and we are lucky enough to get the opportunity to learn from them each and every day. For QUTV, I'm Colleen McCormick.
Have you ever heard the myth that if your professor doesn't show up within 15 minutes after class starts, you can leave? QUTV did some investigating to find out if there is any truth to the myth. It turns out if students leave class before the professor arrives, no matter how late the professor is, an absence may be counted towards their grade. We asked Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Ann Behrens, if the university has an official policy on the issue.
I looked in the student handbook, I looked in the catalog, I talked to every office pretty much that deals with students and academics, and everybody's heard that story, and it's not written anywhere that anyone is aware of.
To recap, the 15-minute rule is not an actual policy. Next time, instead of leaving, you should make sure that you just look for your professor and stay late just an extra few minutes just in case. This could possibly save your grade. Service is an integral part of the Quincy University experience. New changes to Service Learning program are meant to simplify the process while offering more opportunities.
Having some trouble with service learning? Look no further. QU's campus ministry has recently reorganized a few aspects of service learning to make it more inclusive and easier to accomplish for graduation. As you may already know, all students must acquire 30 hours of service learning divided between at least 3 locations, while transfer students must have 10 hours. The main way campus ministry is promoting students to get to their 30-hour requirement is through mission trips. Campus Ministry Director Father Aferd Sheri, OFM, says they are trying to become better at tracking students' hours for service learning.
So this year we have the sites assigned with the number of people they need at that site, and students have to sign up for different times that they will be available to go to those sites to do work.
Campus Ministry is also attempting to make the process simpler and more efficient for students and locations by introducing meetings once a month instead of once a week through service learning packets and paper reflections. Along with mission trips, Service Learning Saturdays will return soon. Student Cameron Walker shares what he has done so far in his experience with service learning.
I try to volunteer with the Humane Society. I've worked with Kunada a couple times. I'm interested in going on a few mission trips, so I'm looking into that for this year.
Although mission trips cost a small fee ranging between $100 and $250, mission trip coordinator Julie Holdner explains that this small fee will pay off big time.
No one goes on a mission trip and comes back and says, oh, I wish I didn't do that, regrets going. That never happens. Everyone comes back and says, why didn't I do that sooner?
For more information, contact Father John in the Vice President's office, Dr. Riccardi, or Campus Ministry in room 114 in Francis Hall.
It's been a rainy mess out there this week, and more might be on the way. QUTV's Stephen Philippi has the latest with QUTV weather.
Hello, Quincy University students. Welcome to another edition of QUTV's forecast. This week we've got some very interesting temperatures going on with our lows down to our lower 50s. And as we kick off our Friday, we've got bright sunny skies with 71 degrees with a low of 56. When we hit Saturday, we've got a football game that day, so it seems like things might get a little muddy and messy for our football players out there. So if you're going out in order to join them, make sure you bring an umbrella in order to shield your friend that you bring with them. And it seems like we've got 67-degree temperatures on the day, so it's just not a great day in order to go outside. But make sure you get out there, support our football players, and show some team spirit with that. And on Sunday, we've got 72 degrees with a low of 55, partly cloudy skies, and that pretty much matches your Monday with 73 on it with your high and 51 on your low. Tuesday, we've got 30% chance of rain with 68 degrees, 55 is just 2 chances of rain this week. Not too good of a start to your week with Wednesday. And we got 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies with 58 on your low. And Thursday, we've got partly cloudy skies with 71 on your high and 53 on your low. So as you can see, we've got some very interesting temperatures this week. But ultimately, it seems like we're going to have to get past this cool front, which is breaching our September atmosphere, because we're just not used to that just yet. But hopefully, things will stay high as September ends and finishes up, and eventually we'll get into that fall weather. We just don't want to see it right now. For QUTV's forecast, I'm Stephen Philippi. I'm sending it back to you guys in the studio.
One of the tenets of higher education is the free flow of information and debate. Quincy University students will have an opportunity to take part in this process at an upcoming town hall meeting with the purpose of discussing Illinois' new medicinal marijuana laws. The meeting will take place on Wednesday, September 17th from 1:30 to 3 in the Hall of Fame room. On January 1st, the state of Illinois legalized the use of marijuana and marijuana concentrates for the purpose of medicinal use. Assistant Professor of Political Science Neil Wright felt it was important to give students an opportunity to become educated on the new laws and some of the controversies that might come with it.
It all kind of depends. I mean, I was telling my U.S. government classes this. I mean, what's written in the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution that we have in Illinois, they're kind of words on paper, and it's all a matter of how they're enforced.
The meeting is part of the university's celebration of Constitution Day. All Quincy University students are encouraged to attend the meeting. Serves, forehands, backhands, and volleys are just a few shots that we saw in play this weekend during QU's tennis tournament.
How did the women's tennis team do? QUTV's sports director, Ethan Cowgill, is here with the answer. Ethan?
Well, thank you, Colleen. It was a great weekend of tennis action here in Quincy for the women's tennis team. The women's tennis team actually welcomed teams from around the Great Lakes Valley Conference at the QU Fall Tournament. The trip to Reservoir Park for the annual event, and the Lady Hawks came prepared to play. The 2-day tournament was a big success for head coach Bill Latour's team. Sophomore Amy Kuhl and freshman Sydney Lynch took first place in the doubles bracket. Kuhl also added a singles bracket championship along with 5 other teammates. Out of 12 first-place slots, the Lady Hawks claimed 8 overall. It was a great effort by the tennis team. We're looking forward to seeing how their season progresses. And now, sports that anyone can engage in. Students don't have to watch from the sidelines to get in on the sports action now. Intramural sports are a great way for students to get active and have fun with their classmates. Whether you prefer old favorites like basketball or alternatives like darts.
So anybody can come, whether you've never touched a basketball or you touch basketball every day. It's for fun, and that's the main objective of it all.
And if you want to sign up for intramurals, all you have to do is head down to the Health and Fitness Center, ask for a sign-up sheet, and they'll be happy to supply that for you. And now, moving on from dartboards to the uprights, let me tell you how the Hawks did in their opening week. Opening week, in fact, it marks the culmination of months of hard work for teams around the nation for Hawks football. And for the Hawks football, that hard work paid off. Quincy University defeated Lindenwood Belleville on the road to 29-15. The Hawks defense allowed just 42 yards on the ground in the victory. Redshirt junior Nick Lonergan tossed 3 scores, earning GLVC Offensive Player of the Week. Coach Tom Padgick's team looks to stay perfect on the season as Northern Michigan rides into Flint Stadium for a Week 2 matchup. And if you've never been to a game before at Flint Stadium, check back next week for a first-person glimpse of the game day experience. That's going to do it for sports this week. As always, go Hawks!
Thanks, Ethan. Quincy University recently launched a new app that helps students access campus information on their mobile devices. QU says the students will find the app both useful and user-friendly.
It certainly makes it a lot easier. Everything they can possibly need is just a couple taps on your phone away. We'll have schedules of events. links to library and Student Success Center, sports links, all different sorts of things, the common things that students would need access to. And we're doing our best to get it 100% accurate. We encourage any sorts of feedback. If there's something missing that you'd like added, let us know, and we'll do our best to accommodate. We want it to be as user-friendly and as beneficial as possible. It's available on iPhones and Android.
The QU app does not open in Windows software-based phones. However, if there is a growing need for Windows-compatible smartphones on campus, QU is willing to adjust the app accordingly. That's it for this week's QUTV News Update. Remember to tune in online, on Facebook, or Channel 97 on campus for more news anytime. For the entire QUTV team, I'm Colleen McCormick.
And I'm Sarah Valkamp. Until next time, Hawks, keep soaring high.